Hi everyone. Can you guys hear and see me fine? Hi Srinidhi. It's so nice to see you here. Am I audible and visible to you? Caitlin says, "Hi, yes, we are good." Hi Caitlin. It's so nice to see, familiar faces at the start of the live. Thank you for the confirmation, Srinidhi. I appreciate that. Okay. And I see, I think, a new face as well. So I would love to say hi to anyone who is joining, for the first time and also, regular ones. Like, I would love to know which part of the world you are joining us from and how you are doing today. Hi, CJ. Welcome to the 60th episode of Wheel of Wisdom. I'm so happy that you decided to tune in today. And I hope that you gain something of value from this live. So, CJ, are you joining us for the very first time or have you been here before? Caitlin says, doing good. It's 8:30 a.m. here in New York, about to drop off kiddo at school and then settle in to grab the wisdom. Beautiful. I I hope that you have a nice journey and a peaceful journey to her school. And yeah, and I'm always so grateful that you are here. You make me a part of your morning routine, which means a lot to me. And it's nice to hear that you're doing well, Caitlin. CJ says, first time, interested in what books you will share with us today. Okay, so it seems like you have kind of, read the description of the live. And yeah, I'm also excited what which book would come out for us today because it is not, that I pre-decide a book, but we just open ourselves and let the universe, God or divine or whatever you call it, choose a book for us. So I'm really excited to see what comes up for us today. And yeah, and I hope that you do get some piece of wisdom or guidance in relation to whatever is going on in your life, CJ, from this life. Okay, guys. So before we, move on to the fun part and dive into the wisdom, what we usually do is that we start with a meditation. The meditation help us get in the right state of being and, to tune into that higher frequency so that we are more in alignment to receive that higher wisdom. So, are you guys ready to tap into the meditation today? Type ready in the comments if you are ready for the meditation. And then we will begin the meditation and then dive into the wisdom part. Okay. Hi, Kathleen. It's so nice to see you here. I am actually loving, reading your comments and reading about your insights that you're getting out of my course. It's amazing, Kathleen. And yeah, every time I see a message from you, I'm like, okay, this time, what was his experience from the lessons? So yeah, it's nice to see you tuning here in the live as well, in the real time. Kathleen says such great stuff. Oh, I'm glad that you're liking the course. By the way, guys, the course that I'm talking about, the course that Kathleen is taking is one of my courses on Insight Timer, and the name of that course is A Therapist's Guide to Dealing with Life Difficult Situations or to Accepting Life Difficult Situations. I'm very bad with titles, I forget them. Not the content though, but yeah, just the title. So, in case anyone wants to check out, you can do so. Okay, so Srinidhi is ready, Kathleen is ready, CJ is ready. Hi, Carmen. Welcome, Carmen, to our, live, and I'm so happy that you decided to tune in. So, Carmen is ready as well. Beautiful. Okay, so I will drink some water and then we will begin. You guys can also just, take your time to find a comfortable place or hydrate yourself like me. Carmen says, hello, yes, I'm new here. I love quantum book reading. Oh, wonderful. I am glad that, what happens in these lives is going to be resonating with you. So, welcome, welcome, Carmen. I am so happy that you tuned in. Really, thank you for your presence here. Okay, guys. So, let's dive in. Become comfortable in a space of your choosing. Begin by coming into a comfortable position. You can sit, stand, or lie down, whatever your body needs right now. If possible, keeping your spine straight, your shoulders relaxed, laying your hands on your knees, in your lap, or on the sides of your body, whatever feels comfortable to you. And as you settle into this posture, allow your eyes to close. You can either completely close your eyes all the way down, or alternatively, you can simply lower your gaze, looking at the floor in front of you. This is to help limit any form of visual distraction. And as you turn your awareness inward, becoming aware of your breath, let the breath find its own rhythm, don't try to slow or deepen your breath. Allow it to be just as it is. Resting your awareness on the air flowing in and out of your body. Each breath bringing you into this present moment. as you arrive in the here and now fully, bring your attention to your eyes. You don't need to do anything. Simply notice. Notice the weight of your eyelids. The space between them, and notice the quiet presence of these two beings who see the world for you. So, becoming aware of your eyes who see the world for you. Your eyes have been with you since the very beginning. They have taken in beauty, colors, sunsets, tears, the faces that you love, the pages of books, the screens that entertain you, and the blue and vibrant sky. They have taken in the beauty of life. They have adjusted in the dark and bathed in the light. They are always working, often without thanks. So let's take this moment to say thank you to your eyes. Thank you, eyes. Thank you, eyes, for seeing the beauty even when I forgot it's there. Thank you for working even when strained, for staying open even when tired, for receiving light even when life feels dim. Thank you for everything. And now, as you bask in this feeling of gratitude, allow yourself to gently bring to mind any judgments, any judgments you may have held about your eyes, maybe about the way they look or about the way they work. Maybe you wished that your eyes looked different. Maybe you have felt frustration, grief, or fear around your vision. Whatever is here, allow it to be met with kindness. Allow all the judgments to come to the forefront of your mind and allow all the emotions associated with those judgments to resurface in your body. And now it's time to meet them with kindness. So place a hand on your heart. This gesture is to let that part of you who carry all this pain, all this loss or grief, to feel that you care. You care about all these parts of you that are burdened by those judgments. You can even say, I, I care about you. Even if it's a sense of guilt for ever wanting your eyes to be any different. Say to that guilt, I care about you. Meeting all the parts that come up with kindness. Now, place your hand back to wherever it was. Take a breath and allow this truth to settle. Whether your eyes see clearly or partially, or even if they don't see at all, whether they are symmetrical or not, whether they are of a desired color or not, they are a part of you. They belong. You don't need to love how they look or how they work to offer kindness and care to them. They deserve your kindness and care. So, place your hands gently over your closed eyes. If you need, you can rest your elbows on some surface so you get the support that you need to hold your hands on your eyes. Don't try to put any pressure. Simply and gently place your hands on your eyes, feeling the warmth of your palm. Let your eyes soften beneath your hands. Let the darkness soothe your eyes, which might be feeling tired or strained after looking at the screen for a long time. And now imagine a soft golden light coming out of your palms and bathing your eyes in gentle warmth. This light is healing, comforting, and and soothing. As you breathe in, feel the light bringing nourishment and aliveness to your eyes. And as you breathe out, soften any tension you might be holding in or around your eyes. So, breathing in nourishment and breathing out any tension from your eyebrows, from the muscles around your eyes, and also from the tensed muscles inside your eye sockets. If you notice any strain, dryness, pressure, or fatigue in your eyes, then visualize it melting away by the touch of the golden healing light. Give your eyes all the care it needs and deserves. And whenever you feel ready, gently lower your hands with your eyes closed, noticing the light that you can see or the patterns of light entering through the eyelids. And whenever you feel comfortable, gently begin to open your eyes, letting in all the different colors, lights, and shadows. Noticing the different objects around you. And finally, coming back to your environment. Welcome back. Thank you for taking out this time for yourself. If you feel called to share your experience of the meditation, you can do so. And if you don't feel like typing yet, you can just press the hearts to let me know. Thank you to let me know that the meditation resonated with you at some level. Okay, let's see. And I see some new people have joined us while we were meditating. So I want to let you know that in case you missed the meditation, then all of this is getting recorded and you can, tune into the replays later on. Thank you for all the hearts. I'm so glad that, some of you got the care that you needed today. Yeah, and this was just one part of this live. The meditation was just one part of this live, and we have a lot more, diving into the more fun part and also into the wisdom. So stay tuned until I read the comments. Okay. Um, I so appreciate this overflow of love. I'm so it just fulfills me to say that, the meditation resonated at such a deeper level for some of you. Okay, let's see. Beverly tuned in while we were meditating. Okay, let me drink some water before I read the comments. Okay, so Beverly tuned in the meditation while we were doing meditation. And she says hello to me and everyone. Hi, Beverly. Welcome. It's so nice to see you here coming back again. Let's see. Matt says very nice. Thank you. I'm glad, Matt, that the meditation resonated with you. Carmen says beautiful. That was a really amazing meditation. Thank you, Carmen. I'm glad that your eyes are feeling good after this, that your body got that love and care that it deserves. Um, let's see. Caitlin says lovely. Thank you, Caitlin. Thank you so much. I assume that you were not able to follow through the meditation as you were, I think, maybe driving. But I would love for you to come back and, maybe, do that later on. But, anyhow, I'm glad, to read your comment. Okay. So, hmm, now it's fun time. CJ says, deep gratitude for our eyes. Such a gift, right? We only ever realize all that our body does for us when it stops functioning. Then, all the havoc falls upon us. Um, and we are like, if we are having an irritation in our eyes or if we are feeling tired and if we got redness and all of those different things, when it stops functioning in a more healthy manner, then only we notice and recognize and take care of it. But yeah, it's always nice to do little things for our eyes, maybe to expose our eyes to greenery because that is really, not only healthy for our eyes, but for our brain to actually see the greenery, see the nature. Or maybe washing our eyes now and then, especially in the summers, especially when we are like, you know, having screens in front of us all the time. So maybe like washing our eyes once in a while. So maybe today you can set this intention inspired by this meditation that you're going to do something for your eyes. Or maybe just, putting like like a heat pad around it, or maybe just massaging around your eyes. These can be just very little things that we can do for our eyes, or just do a exercise for our eyes. So, yeah, these can all be just so little and yet so helpful things that we can do. So, yeah, having that said, hmm, let's, go to the fun part of this live as well. So, let me show you guys the wheel. So, we have this wheel of wisdom, and before we dive into the wheel of wisdom, I invite you guys to bring to your mind what is it that you would like to receive some guidance on today. So, is there something specific that is going on in your life? Is there a specific, area in your life in which you would like some clarity or direction? So bring that issue or, that specific area of your life to your mind. Or maybe if you don't have anything specific, then you can just set a general intention, like, may I receive some guidance, some general guidance or divine guidance for today. So take a moment to bring to the forefront of your mind what is it that you would like to receive some wisdom on today. And type down in the comments when you have brought that into like at the forefront of your mind. And then we will begin, the reading and stuff. Wonderful. So Carmen says, yes, I have got mine. Beautiful. Other people, have you thought of something in relation to which you would like to receive some guidance on? Because it's always surprising and magical to see sometimes how the exact reading for that aligns. So yeah, take a moment to see what has been bothering you a lot. Where has your attention been a lot? Beverly says, thank you so much for the warm welcome. You popped into my head while I was journaling, so came in search of you, and tada, here you are. Oh, perfect alignment, Beverly. I am so glad that, the times aligned when I popped into your head, and I am now sure that there is something that is going to come up in today's live that is meant for you. So let's see what comes up. Beverly says done. Okay, beautiful. So I'm hoping other people are also done because sometimes people like to just play the live and do some other stuff. So yeah, which I am, okay with, which I appreciate that you're making me a part of whatever you are doing. So yeah, let's, spin the wheel and see what wants to come through today. Hmm. Okay. Big one. I guess kind of in an alignment with what we did today, like the meditation we did today. So the book, because it might be inverted for you, so the book is Self Compassion, and the book has been written by Christine Neff, who is like the prominent researcher in this field. So let's see what wants to come through from this amazing, beautiful book. Okay, so give me a moment to choose the page numbers because in a moment I'm going to ask you to choose a number and we're going to have fun with that. So just give me a moment. Okay. So, in a moment, I'm going to ask you guys to choose a number, okay? And I want to remind, anyone and to tell anyone new here that there is no need to rush, to choose a number because I'm not going to choose like the top two or top three numbers. That is not what we're going to do here. But instead, what I want you to do is that to, sit with the options and just see what number comes up for you and mention that in the comments. And then I'm going to just go through these numbers and choose a number that I am feeling intuitively called to. So there is no need to rush. I'm not going to choose the top three or top, two or something like that. And also remember that whoever number I choose, if supposedly Beverly shares a number and I chose her number, it doesn't mean that the reading is just for her. The reading was meant to come through and you were meant to hear that. That's why you're here. So that reading is for all of us here, including me. So let's see what wants to come through. So I invite you guys to choose a number between 10 to 225. Hi, Lisa. It's so nice to see you here again. I'm glad that you are liking these lives. So Lisa has chosen a number for all of us. Hi, Debbie. Welcome. So Debbie has also chosen a number for all of us. Beverly, Carmen, Melissa, Kate, beautiful, Marcia, Claire, CJ. Okay, we have a lot of numbers. Amazing. Anyone else also left? I, I will take a sip of water and then we will begin. Okay, it seems like everyone who was planning to has chosen a number for all of us. So let's see what number that I am feeling called to today. Okay, interesting. So I'm going to go with number 11 because it has come up three times. Beverly, Marcia, and Claire has chosen that number for all of us. So I'm assuming that something really, really wants to come through from that number. And an interesting fact, I was actually born at 11/11 on 11th. So yeah, we also have that alignment with me personally. So let's see what wants to come through here. Lisa says nice. Okay. So what is on page number 11? Beverly says amazing. Yeah, I really love that fact about me. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. So Kathleen says 1111 Gates of Heaven. Kathleen says 1111 always resonates with with me too. Yeah. With me too. When I first learned about the significance of this number, I was like, wow. And I always stop at it when I notice that. Okay. Beverly says same here. Beautiful. And I love how you put it, Kathleen, 1111 gates of heaven, kind of like a rhyming thing. Okay. So the reading that has come through for all of us on page number 11 is the subheading of this is distorting mirrors. So the author says, if I have to feel better than you to feel good about myself, again, if I have to feel better than you to feel good about myself, then how clearly am I going to see you? or myself for that matter. Let's say I had a stressful day at work and I'm grumpy and irritable with my husband. When he gets home later that evening, purely hypothetical, of course, if I am highly invested in having a positive self image and don't want to risk viewing myself in a negative light, I am going to slant my interpretation trans- of what transpires to make sure that any friction between us is seen as my husband's fault, not my own. So here is a dialogue. So the author might say, "Good, you are home. Did you pick up the groceries like I asked?" The husband might say, "I just walked through the door. How about nice to see you? How was your day? How about nice to see you, dear? How was your day?" Well, if you weren't so forgetful, maybe I wouldn't have to always hound you. As a matter of fact, I did pick up the groceries. Oh, well, it's the exception that proves the rule. I wish you weren't so unreliable. So we find a way to find a fault in the other person, one way or another person, one way or another, because we have developed this tendency to uplift ourselves by, you know, suppressing the other person. Think of ourselves as good by bringing the other person down. And that's what is the core concept of self-esteem. When we are so focused on raising our self-esteem, we don't realize that high self-esteem comes from seeing ourselves, from having a perception of ourselves as above average. Okay. So when we perceive ourselves as above average in something, then we think that we have a high self-esteem. So that whole concept of us feeling good about ourselves is based on comparison with others. And also, it makes it less likely for us to have high self-esteem because it means that, you know, that average we are talking about. So we are very less likely to be above average because everyone wants to be above average, right? You wants to be above average. I want to be above average. Beverly, Kathleen, all of us wants to be above average, right? So in order to have a high self-esteem. So now no one is in the average, right? So we would have that, that possibility is actually less likely, and we are dependent to feel good about ourselves, comparing ourselves to others, and also we are putting ourselves to the hell to prove ourselves every single time. And anytime we fail, self-esteem goes away. Self-esteem is not a reliable friend of ours. So whenever you will make a mistake, whenever you will fail, the self-esteem would go away, meaning that you would start feeling bad about yourself. That high self-esteem that was there when it was all shining and good, it leaves away through the back door every time, you fail or you make a mistake. And that is the very time when we need it, when we need to, feel good about ourselves, when we need to feel capable about ourselves. Self-esteem is not a good friend. So, if not self-esteem, if we should not focus on cultivating a high self-esteem, which is also associated with many other issues like narcissism and all of that, then what can we focus on? So the answer is the title of this book, Self-Compassion. So the author further mentions that so this is not exactly a recipe for happiness. Why is it so hard to admit when we step out of line, are rude, or act impatient? Because Our ego feels so much better when we project our flaws and shortcomings onto someone else. It's your fault, not mine. Just think about all the arguments and fights that grow out of this simple dynamic. Each person blames the other for saying or doing something wrong, justifying their own action as if their life depended on it, while both know in their hearts that it takes two to tango. How much time do we waste like this? Wouldn't it be so much better fess if we could just fess up and play fair? So if we could just, you know, so in this scenario or in any other argument, if we could just leave aside our opinion, which are mostly surrounded by how I am right and the other person is wrong, how I am better than the other person, if we could just leave those opinions aside and see the human in front of us, see the feelings in front of us, and see the needs in front of us, and our own needs and our own emotions, and acknowledge both, acknowledge the emotions within that person and acknowledge our own emotions, and then try to find a way in which both persons' needs are getting met. So that is about the dynamic thing, that is about the example thing that we mentioned. But in relation to ourselves, just in our relationship with our own selves, if we stop continuously trying to prove ourselves, continuously trying to compare ourselves, and just try to do our best. It doesn't mean that we leave behind all the high standards and everything. It means that we set realistic standards, and when we fail, which we will, we are humans, right? So when we make a mistake, then we can be there for ourselves. Then we can use that friend of self compassion to comfort us in that moment when we need it. And then, move ahead from that, learning whatever we want to learn, changing whatever we need to change. But first, bringing some comfort to ourselves rather than berating ourselves, criticizing ourselves to change. So that is, what came up for me. And that is what the reading was for us, the first reading for today. Thank you, Amber, for all the hearts. I'm glad that, this reading was resonating with you. And there is a lot of research of how self-compassion is better than, self-esteem, how focusing on cultivating that is far more better than self-esteem. And self-compassion is not associated with any of the, the negative effects of high self-esteem. So uh it is a reliable friend compared to self-esteem that is just a fair weathered friend for us. Thank you for all the hearts. I'm glad that the reading is touching your hearts in some way. Okay. Um, Now I want to ask you guys, would you guys like me to do another reading from this very book? Or would you like me to, spin the wheel again and choose a different book for all of us? So same book or different book? You can vote in the comments. Hi V, it's so nice to see you here. And thank you for, choosing a number for all of us. Yeah, so guys, same book, which is Self Compassion by Christine Neff, for a different book. Lisa says, different book. Okay. Other people? Okay, Caitlin says, spinning is always fun. V says, new book. Okay, then, different book it is. So let's see what wants to come through again. So, holding whatever you need guidance on in your mind, and let's spin. Mm-hmm. Okay. A very fun book in itself that came up for all of us. And the name of the book is Nothing Something. And this book has been written by Thich Nhat Hanh. And this book is actually written for kids, the amazing and the wonderful question that kids ask, but the question that kids ask about life, about relationships and all of the relevant stuff that is relevant for all of us. So let's see what wants to come through from this book. Um, Hi Rachel, welcome. It's so nice to see you here. I'm so happy to see you here. And yeah, yeah, I guess you missed the meditation and the first reading, but you are in time, as Caitlin mentions, for the second reading. Um, yeah, I will show you the title page of this book, which is like very vibrant or colorful. But the name of this book for you is that is nothing something. So that is the title of the book, Is Nothing Something. And the book is written by Thich Nhat Hanh. Okay. So let's see what wants to come through from this amazing book. We had so much fun when the last time this book came. So now I'm excited, what will come through from this book today. Yeah, thank you so much, Caitlin, for mentioning that. And yeah, thank you, Rachel, for mentioning that. Yeah, like the name is, let me mention the name as well of the author. Okay. So this is the cover page of this book. And the subtitle here says that kids' questions and Zen answers about life, death, family, friendship, and everything in between. So this is the book. So here, Thich Nhat Hanh has answered, kids' questions about all of these different things. So let's see. I'm just choosing the numbers to help you, like to give you so that you can play with me. Um, okay. So I see some new people have joined as well. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you to choose a number. Okay, I'm going to give you the options. Again, there is no need to hurry. Whatever number comes up for you, you can mention that. And if you have already mentioned a number that lies between the two numbers that I'm going to mention, then there is no need to mention it again. I will go through it, you know, in the previous comments. And if you want to, you can mention it. There is like it doesn't do any harm. Okay. So yeah. So again, there is no rush. Just let whatever number is coming up for you and let it come up for you and just mention that in the comments. And I'm going to anyway randomly choose a number. So yeah, so let's see. Choose a number between 9 to 79. Okay, Lisa has chosen number 34. Okay. Other people, you can also choose if you have already mentioned the number, maybe mention it again here or mention another number that is coming up for you. Just, feel free to let the flow come through you. So let's see. We have some numbers. Lisa has chosen a number for all of us. Donna has chosen. Hi, Donna. Welcome. It's so nice to see you here tuning in. Kristen has chosen a number. Hi, Kristen. Welcome. Amber has chosen a number. Beverly, Caitlin. Beautiful. Okay. So I'm going to go through these numbers. And again, whoever number I choose, it doesn't mean that that reading is just for that person. It's just they are the source of that wisdom. And that reading is for all of us because you all are here, right? So you were meant to hear that. Donna says, "Thank you. I just jumped on. I'm glad that you did. I'm glad that you saw this on your screen and you decided to tune in. And I wish that you'd receive something of value from this live, Donna." Okay, so let's see what number I am I feeling called to. And I'm going to consider the previous numbers as well. Okay, so the number that I am feeling called to is 77. And the number was given to us by Melissa. Thank you, Melissa, for choosing that number for all of us. So let's see what wants to come through this page for all of us. Hmm. Okay. So the question that a kid asked from Tiknatha on this page is, how can we influence members of our family who aren't interested in spiritual practice or teachings, but who spend a lot of time indoors watching television and eating unhealthy food? So that is the question that someone asked Thich Nhat Hanh. So let's see what reply did he give. We can embody the insight and the practice when we try to impose our ideas on others. We get a strong reaction. We shouldn't preach or blame. We should just use skillful means in order to help others to realize that bringing toxins into their body and mind will result in suffering. Your own transformation, your own peace and joy will be an inspiration for other people to follow. Don't say, I practice and you don't. That is why you suffer. So don't say this to that family member that I practice and you don't, and that's why you suffer. That will only irritate them. Your own transformation and healing is the most convincing element. Your smile will tell them directly about your practice and what they are missing. So, this was a question that I used to have a lot, in my mind when I was like learning about more about spirituality and healing and all of these different stuff. And I really wanted to help my loved ones, and not only just with spirituality on this, when I was like, learning about all these different things, in psychology as I was becoming a therapist. So, as I was learning all of these different things, I could see that, if this person tried this, they could be more happy and all of these different things, they could be more healthy, they would have a better, life or something like that. But every time I tried to say them that try this, they were like there was a resistance from their side. And it especially like with, you know, especially just, switching a direction from here to like um helping them in terms of their mental health, for example. For me, it was like it was really hard to see that I could help this person, but I can't, they're not letting me in. And it was hard to learn to not force things, to embody them, and to let them come to you when they need it, you know, when they see that in you. And it was hard. But I am, I just realized this at this moment that I have come, a long way in that terms, that I now don't need to force that. And people do come to me, like even my known ones, which they didn't used to before. But now they see that, and now they are more willing. And when they come on their own, they're more likely to be more open and receptive and actually be able to do that consistently in their life. So now I can, see you in this, like, so this is just an example from my life that can apply to this very thing when, we try to um, buy someone into our own, faith system, or to help them adapt some healthy practices, general healthy practices. So you cannot change anyone unless they want to. That is a big learning point. That has been a big learning point for me. Kathleen says, "Wow, good one for my situation." I'm glad that, that resonated with you so well, Kathleen. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so let's do one more reading. Um, Let me go through the numbers, and if anyone new has joined, you guys can mention a number between 9 to 80, 9 to 79, sorry. Okay, I'm going to scroll through the numbers of other people. Okay, so I am feeling called to 44, and Beverly has chosen that number for all of us. Thank you, Lisa, for mentioning that number. Okay, so Beverly has chosen number 44 for all of us. Let's see what wants to come through like from this page. I'm going to drink some water and then we will do the reading. And until then, if you guys are enjoying this live, if you are finding anything of value, or if you are just enjoying the space, and if you would like me to continue doing these lives, then you can support me by making a donation of whatever amount that you are feeling called to. Let's see. What is on page number 44? So, someone asked Tiknath, that have you ever hurt someone on purpose? So, he replied, I have hurt people through lack of mindfulness and through ignorance, but not with the intention of making the other person suffer. I don't want to make anyone suffer, but because I am not always calm enough or mindful enough, I have hurt others. I have done that a few times and I always regret it. I vow to myself that I will be more careful and I will not do it again next time. So it might seem like a pretty simple thing, but it reminds us of two things. The first one is that even the greatest of the people, even the one that we think of as wise, which Thich Nhat Hanh was recognized as, is recognized as, um, they also have they also have made mistakes. They also have had setbacks or failures. They also have done things that they, regretted at that moment, or maybe upon reflection later on as well. So that is the first thing that, we are not perfect, no matter who we are, no matter how wise we become. We are not perfect. We don't always do the very right thing. We do our best given the knowledge that we have. And we need to carry that when we, do these things. We need to carry that with us that I did my best given the knowledge that I had, given the state I was in that at that moment. And it doesn't mean we excuse ourselves from that behavior, it means that we don't berate ourselves. We don't add suffering to our already existing pain. We don't do that. We instead acknowledge that yes, something happened and we take the right steps. It can be a vow to never do that particular thing again. It can be an apology to that person. It can be, something else that might help you better that situation. So, because just criticizing yourself or judging yourself or labeling yourself as a bad person or a selfish person or whatever you label yourself as is not going to do any good except to make you suffer even more. And sometimes people think that I deserve that pain. You know, I deserve to be in that pain because I made that mistake that harm other person, even if it was unintentional. So, you know, to those people, I remind them that when you are in that pain, when you think that you deserve that pain and you continue to inflict that pain upon yourself, not only that you're not doing yourself any good, but you're not doing others any good because you might realize that when we are in pain, we are not very nice to others. When we are suffering, we're not very open and receptive, and we're not all of those things to others. And our even our relationships gets impacted. So when you think you deserve pain and you keep on inflicting that upon yourself, it also harm others. It might not correct what happened in the past, but it is going to harm someone or other in the present because you are in pain and that pain is living within you. So, you can only give what you have. So, you have pain within you, and that is what you're going to cause again, knowingly or unknowingly. So, so carrying or holding on to that don't serve anyone at all. So, yeah, I think that is a good reminder for us to have. Yeah. And below that face, there is a cute picture. I want to show you guys. The picture says, "May I give you a hug?" And maybe give yourself a hug. That can be a beautiful reminder that when you feel that regret and, all of that criticism or judgments come around that, around the mistake that you made, around how you have hurt the other person, maybe hold yourself in compassion because you deserve compassion just because you are suffering. You don't need any other reason to give yourself compassion. You deserve that compassion because it would help you move forward from that in the best way possible. It is not going to make you do that behavior again, make it okay, you know, to it is not going to excuse that behavior of yourself. That when you feel safe enough, it is that hug, that compassion is going to provide you a safe space to admit your mistakes, because we are more likely to admit our mistakes to a person that we know won't judge us, compared to a person that we know is very, judgmental, right? So that's what we are doing for ourselves. We are giving ourselves our safe space to admit, you know, that a mistake happened from me, by me. And when we recognize, when we see that in that safe space, now we can see how can I do things better. So I guess, yeah, the image of, I think, two raccoons, hugging each other is pretty beautiful. A wonderful and a very apt reminder. Okay. Um, let's see. I was like really feeling called to another number which I want to go with before we wrap up this live. Um, okay. Okay, so the number that I was feeling called to was this. It's nothing, it's not a reading. It's just a picture of a raccoon being happy. A good follow up for the previous picture. So it was number 34, and I think the person that chose that number for all of us was Lisa. So thank you, Lisa, for choosing that number for all of us. So I'm going to, wrap this live with this beautiful, happy face. And all of those who have joined us for the first time, I do have some like announcements for you guys. So, hmm, so firstly, I want to let all of you know that, if you are a woman who is attending this live and who would like to have a powerful conversation with me, who would like a free 1 hour session, a complimentary session with me to experience coaching, to experience life coaching, then you can message me on Insight Timer. So the way to message me on Insight Timer is, so you can go to my profile. Okay, let me put it here. So you can go to my profile. If you're already following me, you would see the follow button becomes a donate button. Above it, three dots appear. Click on three dots and you will see message teacher option. So you can go here and message me that Anisha, I'm interested in that complimentary session, or I would like to have a conversation with you on, on a call or something. So yeah, you can mention that, and I would love to support you in your journey. And I can promise you one thing, that you're going to leave that session with at least one powerful insight, because that has happened with every single woman that I've worked with so far. I recently started giving out these complimentary sessions. I think around Valentine's Day or week, around that time. And I just love doing that. I just love connecting with all the women and guiding them in the best possible manner that I can. And yeah, see them having those insights click in. So if you are interested, you can message me definitely. And the other announcements are, all of this is getting recorded, the video recording. Like, so this live has been recorded, and the way to access these replays in case you missed any meditation, in case you missed a reading, or in case you would like to tune into the previous lives, because this is our 60th live, 60th Wheel of Wisdom today, and we started in January. So the way to do that is, again, go to my profile, which is Anisha Maheshwari, go to the About section, and you can scroll all the way down, and you will see a link tree here. So when you click on that link tree, you will see, like, Wheel of Wisdom replay. So I have created a whole playlist for you guys, and it include like all the 60 meditations. And why I did that is because I want you to develop a connection with your intuition. So, at times when you need guidance and when I am not going live, then you can open that playlist, close your eyes, choose a number between 1 to 60. Whatever number comes up for you, just watch that video, knowing that the message from that video wanted to come through to you. That the universe is sending you that guidance, God or divine is sending you that guidance. So that is the way to access the replays, although it takes like 1 hour for these videos to get uploaded on my channel. So if you would like immediate access, then what you can do is that you can join my little community on Insight Timer. So the name of this community is Wonderful Beings because you are full of wonder. Okay, so yeah, this is the name. So you can either search for it on like in the search box on Insight Timer, or again, you can go to my profile. Okay, you can go to my profile here and scroll all the way down. By the way, guys, I am actually so just like a meditation that we did in this particular live. So I have been doing at least one meditation each of these lives up until now. And we have about 70 meditations so far, I think. And now I'm publishing them one by one on Insight Timer. So this was the meditation that got published last week. And usually like one meditation comes out every single week. So so if you're interested, you can follow me to get notified if a new meditation comes out. And I also have created a playlist for you guys so that you can access all these meditations. Like, like this one, it says that for the days you want to be there for yourself. So I have like all these different tracks. So I've created a playlist. Let me put it here. There's kind of a shadow. No. No. Yeah. So when you scroll all the way down, yeah, here you will see a playlist. It says Wheel of Wisdom. Sorry. So it says Wheel of Wisdom. So you can access that playlist and, go through all the meditations that we have that have been published so far. So there are 11 tracks on this in this playlist so far. And at last, we have here. So when you scroll all the way down, we have this community where I post a summary of each of these lives within like 5 or 10 minutes of this live ending. And I also, publish any updates or some things like that. Donna says, thank you. Love to everyone. Must go to work. Hi, Donna. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope that you receive something of value from this live. And I hope that you have a wonderful day ahead. Okay, so yeah, that was the another announcement. Let me see, am I forgetting something? So we got the replay, which can be accessed through the link tree. If you want immediate access, you can join the group Wonderful Beings. And if you are a woman who would like a complimentary session with me, then you can message me on Insight Timer. Or maybe if you know of a woman who is not here, that's okay as well. She can message me. You can, redirect her. And yeah, I would love to, offer that session to you or to her. Yeah, I guess that's it for this live. And if you enjoyed this live, if you enjoyed this space or got anything out of, of value or anything that resonated with you, then you can support me by making a donation by pressing the donate button somewhere here and making a donation of whatever amount that you feel called to, because these donations help me keep these live going and also to give out all these offerings like the complimentary sessions, and I also have some other offerings in the link tree. um let's see, Kathleen says thank you. You're welcome, Kathleen. Yeah. And let me also mention the course that Kathleen is taking, which also resonates with the readings that we did today, which is about bringing more acceptance rather than more suffering. their already existing pain and, learning to accept the situation and process it rather than just trying to deny it and move away from it and, do things like that. So, let me put that here for you in case you are interested. So that's it for this live. My next live is on day after tomorrow. For me, it is 1st of June. And yeah, you guys can, RSVP. It is already live on my profile. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the beautiful comments, all the lovely hearts, and yeah, all your love and for your presence. Namaste. I bow down to the divine within you. Bye bye. Take care. Have a lovely day.